This is Lesson 2 of the 4-part General Sewing Data instructional series. In Lesson 1, we discussed the function and design of GSD and learned the layout and content of the data card. If you still have questions regarding these areas, review Lesson 1. During this lesson, we'll cover the 3 general handling categories: obtaining and matching parts, aligning and adjusting, and forming shapes. Right now, take out your data card and GSD student manual and refer to the Obtain and Match category. There are 6 elements in this category that focus on the pickup and matching of single or multiple parts and the subsequent placement of the parts to the machine needle point. The first 2 elements, MG2T and MG2S, are specifically designed for handling 2 parts. If the objective is to get 2 parts at the same time and match them, the code is MG2T. Notice how each hand gets a part simultaneously, matches the parts. The hands control the matched parts. The parts are matched away from the needle. Now follow the motion sequence. G, G, P, G, G. G, get the first part. G, get the second part. P, put the parts together to match. G, get a new hold with the first hand. G, get a new hold with the second hand. The objectives have been met. The parts are under control, and you're ready to perform the next element. Now the second element. If the objective is to obtain 2 parts separately, one after the other and then match, the code is MG2S. Get the first part and place it on the table using one or both hands. Get the second part and place it on top of the first part to match. Using the hands, gain control of the matched parts. Match the parts away from the needle. Now follow the motion sequence, G, P, G, P, G, G. G, get the first part. P, put the first part to the table. G, get the second part. P, put the second part on top of the first. G, get a new hold with first hand. G, get a new hold with second hand. The objectives have been met. The parts are under control, and you're ready to perform the next element. The third element, foot, describes the action of placing parts to the machine presser foot or needle. You'll find this normally follows the MG2T or MG2S and includes the additional step of lowering the presser foot to clamp the parts. Place the parts to the machine foot. Lower the presser foot. Follow the motion sequence PF. P, put the parts to the machine foot. F, lower presser foot, foot-operated device. The objectives have been met, and the parts are held under the machine presser foot. The remaining 3 codes in this category, namely MAPE, MAP1, and MAP2, are specifically designed for obtaining and adding or matching a single part directly to the machine foot or to an assembly or part already being worked on. Some typical examples might be obtaining a panel and presenting it to the needle, adding a second or third part to an assembly, or adding a pocket or label to an assembly. Almost always under the MAP code, parts to be added or matched at the terminal point require precise placement. The selection process is determined by the difficulty required to gain control of the part. For example, with the MAPE, the object is easy to get control of and place using one hand. With MAP1, the object is harder to gain control of, but still only one hand is used to place it. And with the MAP2, the object is difficult to gain control of and place, and 2 hands are used. Now let's review each code and objective. If the objective is to get, add or match a single part, and it's easy to gain control of the object with one hand by simply closing the fingers, the code is MAPE. You'll find this code rarely used in sewing situations, since thin, flat plies of material are hard to pick up. An exception may be when a label dispenser is used to ease the selection of the label. MAPE is most often used in analyzing hand pressing, packing, and cutting. The part is easy to obtain. The part is added or matched. If needed, get a better grip on it. Follow the motion sequence GPG. G, get the part. P, put the part. G, get a new hold, simultaneously dropping the presser foot. When the objective is to get, add, or match a single part, and the part is difficult to pick up, but handled with one hand, you'll select the code MAP1. Get the part with one hand. Place the part with one hand. Get a better grasp for more control. Now follow the motion sequence GPG. G, get the part. P, put the part in place. G, get new hold, simultaneously dropping the presser foot. If the objective is to get, add, or match a single part, and the part is difficult to get but handled with two hands to achieve control, the third and final map code is used, MAP2. Initially, get the part with one hand. Use the second hand for better control. Place the part with two hands. Improve the grasp for control. Follow the motion sequence GPGPG. G, get the part with the first hand. P, put the part toward the second hand. G, get the part with the second hand. P, put the part in place. G, get a new hold while simultaneously dropping the presser foot. Now, watch each element. Notice MAP1 and MAP2 codes are frequently used for adding single parts directly to the machine foot. In these instances, lowering of the presser foot is done simultaneously with a final better grasp on the part. We've now reviewed the first handling category, obtaining and matching parts. By replaying the video sequences, you'll become more familiar with the purpose of the elements, codes, and motion sequences. Learning the motion sequences will help you in selecting codes and in observing the need to fine-tune your selection as we examine the other elements. At this point in the lesson, you've probably learned a lot more than you think. You're now able to reference and interpret your data card, reference and understand the manual, determine the main handling category to use, review the purpose of each element, understand the terminology used, become familiar with the simplified codes used, and identify with the motion sequence. Now that you have learned the principal rules and ideas of the method, the same techniques will be adopted with each of the remaining handling